Today we're going to start on those portraits. Everyone will have their black and white, high contrast version of their picture. You're going to get a sheet of the transparency paper or the tracing paper, and then you need to have a pencil. If you think that your pencil doesn't have a good eraser, make sure you grab a nice one that you can use today, because I don't want you scratching through this paper. The first thing we're going to do is find a nice place for your picture, get your transparency placed over it, and if you are concerned with it moving, and I would recommend this for just about everybody, we don't want your transparency moving around and messing up all the lines you're going to make in that picture. So I would place a piece of tape on the bottom and the top so that it should stay in one place. Make sure that your whole picture shows, the edges aren't going through. We're going to focus just on your face and your shoulders. Yes, I took a picture too, so don't be embarrassed, 8th grade. And I'm going to take a moment to zoom in so you can see how we're finding those different values, the really dark areas, the really light areas, and those medium gray areas. Just like in our practice the other day with the other portrait, we're going to first begin by outlining the value changes. So I'm going to look up here in the top. I for sure see a change here. I want you to just lightly with your pencil, really just trace it. Trace those lines. Do your best if you think that it changes or you're not sure exactly where it is. And you'll always be able to look back and see if it's matching up, if it's lining up. Today, I want you to really focus on getting all the parts of the face. We should be able to complete the entire thing, but especially if you don't, I want you to have the face done, going around eyes, eyelashes, go around all those details you see and all those changes, because it's going to help so much in making it look so realistic, or really bringing out the face when we go over it with the letters. So as you can see, I'm going around the eye. I'm thinking about where I see the changes, not what I know. I could just draw an eye, but I need to trace this specific eye so that it fits in that portrait, so that I see the color changes. Here's a highlight, so I need to make sure that I'm tracing that. It's going to be so important I don't skip it. Now when I look in this eye even, this part's really light, really bright and light. And then it gets a little darker, so I'm going to make a light line here and make sure this dark area is all traced. Even under the eye, I'm sure you guys would like to pretend that you don't have, the circles under your eyes or a dark area. But what that is just the light traveling on your skin and on your face. And if you don't put that in, it's going to look really fake. So even if you don't like it, make sure you include some of those details. Now over here is my beauty mark, but if there are blemishes on my face or pimples or whatever, I'm not expecting you to trace those. Don't worry. I want you to be comfortable with your portrait and just looking for those big value changes. I want to point out in the hair that though this is pretty dark all over, there are areas where I can see lighter spots. Make sure you get those highlights in your hair, because if you don't have those, it might look like you just have solid black hair. And you're going to want some other details included. If you have small jewelry on, things like that, like here in the corner I can see that I have a little earring, you are more than welcome to try and trace those. They might be so small that it's difficult to do in the words. So don't feel like you have to do that. And then over here I can come and go around this eye. And I really just want you to work on finding all those value changes. Over here again is some highlights on the edge of my nose, some lighter areas. So feel free to lightly outline those too, because you're going to want to remember, okay, this is an area that I'm not going to have words, but over here are really dark words. Over here, medium, that pencil value. Here's another, the forehead is darker than like the edge of the nose over here, so maybe I can lightly just show, okay, there's some kind of shadow here, there's another highlight over here. Really take your time. This pencil outlining sets you up for success. If you rush it, if you forget to do this entire eye and just keep going, it's not going to be a successful art piece. You've got to take your time and really look for those value changes. If you're concerned that you missed something or you just want my help looking over it, I am here to help you with that. So feel free to raise your hand and say, Miss Gore, please come over and just see if I'm missing something, or raise your hand and go, Miss Gore, I can't really see this eye very clearly. Can you help me with what I need to trace and what I don't need to trace? If you're really, really stuck, we can always try and look under your paper to see what it really looks like. You know, the eyelashes bleed into the eyebrow and the edge of the hair, so this really becomes one big dark shape. So you don't have to be afraid when you trace it that way. Trace what you see on your picture, not what you know. I know I have eyelashes, not a giant black shape that connects my eyebrow, eyelashes, and hair. But in this picture, in this high contrast, that is what I see, and that's what I'm going to have down on my paper. All right, good luck, 8th grade.